Welcome everyone and thank you for joining today's open training. Today's training is User 101 and we will be covering user tools and tasks. I'm Mike Newsom, I will be your trainer. Today's agenda, I will discuss what is MCN Policy Manager. It is a role-based system, so I will be discussing the different roles in the system. Then we'll move into just the basic functionality of the system. So I'll cover browse, search, your favorites tab, recent documents, and the user dashboard. Then we'll also get into competencies and how to finish those. And next, we will talk about tasks. So as a user approver, you have a permission to complete tasks. So you will be invited to the approval process to go through that. So I'll cover that last in this training. So let's go ahead and get started. So what is MCN Policy Manager? Policy Manager is a policy repository. It's an electronic document management system, which allows for routine document review and revision by the proper parties. It is a SaaS or software as a service system, so it is web-based, cloud-based. There are no installs, and you can simply use a URL to log in from any browser, even on your phone, tablet, and so forth. And as I said, this is a role-based system. Pull up my PowerPoint. Let's talk about the roles. So the first role in the system is an admin. The admin, hence here Superman, is the most powerful role in the system. They can edit everything from content to users. The next role is a content editor. So a content editor, hence the name, can only edit content within the system. They cannot edit user accounts. On the flip side is a user editor. So user editor cannot edit content, but they can edit user accounts. The last role is a user. This is going to be the most common role within the system. Just allows users to come in, browse, search. But along with the users, there are two special permissions that a user can be granted. The first one is a manual owner. A manual owner is like a content editor. They will have full editing rights over a particular manual that they own, or they can have multiple manuals. The last option or special permission is an approver. So this is what most basic users who are part of an approval process will be. Again, a user approver can be invited to the approval process, edit that document, approve it, and send it on to the next step. Okay, so let's move into the basic functionality. So I'm going to log out as myself, and I'm going to log in as Mary Hendrick. Mary Hendrick is a user approver in the site. And as you can see, Mary Hendrick, like all basic users, will have this first tier right here. As a user approver, she will have her tasks and also access to policy library and stay alert. Okay, so the first portion I want to talk about is browse manuals. So to browse in the system, this is typically used for when you know where a manual or document lives. So I will click on browse. As you can see, it's going to pull up the full list of manuals in the system. If I click into the manual, it's going to bring me down to the subfolders within that manual. And next is the sections or folders. If I click on those, it's going to go ahead and open up those three policies within section 1. So let's click on the ambulatory hand hygiene document. This is going to bring me to a read-only PDF view of that document. So everything that is imported into the system, its editable version, whether it's Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, is going to be automatically converted to a PDF. In here, up at the top, we have keywords. So this is part of the metadata of the document. Over here to the right, we have a few different buttons. The first one is the favorites. So this document's already added to Mary's favorites tab. She can remove it by clicking on that, and then she can simply just add it by clicking Save to Favorites. Next is the approval details. The approval details are just going to give you the approved on, the approved by, when this approval expires, and what the approval type was. You simply just Click that again, it'll hide the details. Next to that, we have hide and show details. So if I click hide, it's going to remove those keywords from the top of the document. If I click show, it's going to show those keywords. And right here to the right, we have the print option. Before I click on that, I want to show you there are there are a total of 5 pages to this document. If I click print, it's going to bring me to the print preview. Let's just click cancel here. And as you can see now, we have a total of 6 pages in this document. The last page is what we like to call the document information page. This will be printed with every single document that is printed outside of the system. This will include the document title, the document description, approval information, right here, keywords or metadata. And then down here, we have who printed this document and this note. This note is defaulted to say this copy will expire in 24 hours. The reason we put that on there is every up-to-date and current policy, procedure, form document is going to live in the system. So if this is left on a counter, a desk, flip back here and say, well, this expired a week, 2, 3 months ago, whatever it may be. You can shred that, toss it, whatever you do with them, and go back to the system and pull up that document. So from here, we can use the breadcrumb trail to go back to that subfolder. We can go back to the manual or the manual list, whatever you'd like. So from browse manuals, let's move into the search options. There are 2 ways to search within the system. The first way is if I click on advanced search, it'll take us to that. But the second way is the quick search up here at the top. So I'm going to type in care plan. So with the quick search, just simply type in what you're looking for. Click search. So when I typed in care space plan, the system's actually going to go out and look for care and or plan. Not together. It could be care in a care by itself, plan by itself, and it's going to search the document title, the content of the document, and that metadata that we included through document management. As you can see, the title of the first document has plan included, so it's going to be a weighted search. Again, titles at the top, it'll roll through the document description, document content, and so forth. Next way to search is through advanced search. If I click advanced search, it's going to take me directly back to this same page. I will click on advanced search here. And it's going to give me 3 different filters. The first one is to limit results by fields. If I click on that list, it is going to give me a full list of different fields I can search in. So as I said earlier, you can, the system is going to search the document title, document description, document content, keywords, standard references, and reference codes. So if I select document title, click apply, it's going to bring up that one policy that has plan in the title name. If I remove that by clicking X, it'll pull up that list again after I select apply. The next filter is limit results by manual. So I click here. You can see the different manuals that have care and or plan in it. So if I select the HIPAA guidelines, click apply, it's going to pull up a total of 1 document. The last filter option we have is document classification. So document classification is controlled here at MCM Healthcare. We have a total of 34 different classifications at this time. Document can be classified as a bylaw, a consent, a form, guideline, policy, procedure, and so forth. Right. And the last option I want to show you in the search is right here is this little question mark. If I click on that, this is going to bring up our advanced search tip sheet. This is just going to give you different ways to search in the system. So for example, if you're looking for an exact word or phrase, if you put parentheses in front of that, in front and behind of that word or words, it'll look exactly for infection prevention, as you can see there. You can search all terms, kind of like we just did, by leaving a space or typing in and between those 2 words. There are a few more in here, so if you get time, go ahead and just look through the document and try and search your system to see what you can find. From search, we're going to go ahead and talk about favorites. So if I click favorites here, this is going to list all the documents that Mary has saved to her favorites link here. This will be typically used for if you look at a document constantly, you're always pulling up the same procedure day after day. You can simply just add to your favorites by clicking on that Save to Favorites within the document. If you come into this list, just click on the document name. It's going to pull up that PDF view. So it's a quick, easy way to find documents that you use quite often. If for any reason you need to remove these from your favorites list, you can click the check boxes here, select the Remove from Selected Favorites option, and now those two documents have been removed. Next is Recent Documents. So if I click on that, this is going to list the last 50 documents that Mary has viewed. It's going to be from newest to oldest. Again, so for example, you leave on Friday, you're looking at a policy, you come back Monday, you need to go back and then find it. You can't find it through search, you can simply come to recent documents and find that. Again, all you have to do is click on the name of the document. It'll pull up that PDF view. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to the home page. Next is the user dashboard. So if I click dashboard here, it's going to bring up the first option here is messages. These messages are sent from here, from us at MCM Healthcare Tech Support. This will just give you messages regarding maybe a server maintenance, any updates that we've done to the system will be shown here. Below that, we have the widgets. The first one, let me let this update real quick. The first one's going to show how many new documents have been added to the system. Currently, there are 0. This will update day by day. Below that, we have just a total number of active documents within the system, so 66. And then next is competencies. So Mary has a total of 8 competencies to complete. So that'll be shown here. Over here to the right, we have the charts. This is just going to list how many active documents, inactive documents, and retired documents are in your system. And right here is the calendar view. So this is just going to show what's due for Mary in a calendar format. As you can see, her competencies were due on the 5th. She has a task that was due on the 7th, and then a task that was due on the 26th, and so forth. Okay. From there, let's go ahead and let's talk about competencies. So competencies are going to be assignments that are either assigned as a signature assignment or a quiz that is created by the individual who is assigning these. There's a few different ways to get your competencies. From the dashboard, we can click View Competencies here. We can simply click on the calendar, or we can click Competencies here to the left. If I do that, it's going to bring up that list of competencies Mary has to complete. As you can see, it is defaulted to show only uncompleted, but if you do want to see your completed competencies, you can select that. It will load those if there are any. You can view all. Let's go back to uncompleted. So in this list, you have the option to filter your results. So if you're looking just for pain, type in PAIN, it's going to pull up that. If I remove the words, it'll pull that list right back. You can sort by clicking on the title up here at the top, so document name. You can sort by manual. Next is assignment types. So again, there are 2 different types of assignments. First one is a quiz or a signature. Next is assigned on date, when this assignment was due, and who assigned it. So if you have any questions, you can come in here and say, well, I need to contact Aaron Akins because this doesn't make sense or whatever. So When you are assigned a competency, depending on your organization, if they have the option selected to send you an email letting you know, that will happen real time. So as soon as Aaron can assign this ambulatory hand hygiene signature assignment, Mary received an email in real time. Okay, the visual indicators here, as you can see, these are all in red. That means that they are overdue, so they're past their due date. If they were current, they would be black. So let's go ahead and view the ambulatory hand hygiene options here. The first one I want to look at is the signature. So if I click view here, it's going to take me to that PDF view of the document. And right here, we have two different options. We can click here to sign off that we have read and agree to it, or we can take the quiz. So let's go ahead and click sign off. This is just going to be a quick yes or no. I hereby acknowledge that I have read and understand this document and or changes and agree to comply. I will simply click yes. It's going to complete that competency and take you right back to your list. Next is the quiz assignment. So if you're assigned a quiz, you can click view. It'll take you right back to that document, and you will click here to take the quiz. So I'll click here. It's going to pull up your questions. With the quizzes, it can either be true or false or multiple choice. Right here, let's look at the first question. When should you wash your hands? Before eating, all are correct, after contact, blah, 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 blah. So I know all are correct, but I'm just going to show you what happens if you fail. So I'll use that one. Question 2, hand sanitizer is an effective way as washing your hands. True or false? So say true. Click submit quiz. And as you can see, we are sorry you did not meet the minimum score requirements. It'll tell you your score was 50%, minimum passing was 80%. You can try again the quiz. That's only if the quiz creator allows you to try it more than once. So if you need to, click try again. You can simply select the correct answers. Click submit quiz. And as you can see, congratulations, you have passed. Once you have passed, you can simply click back to document. It's going to take you back to that original document. If you do need to go back to your competencies, just select competencies here. Okay, so from competencies, let's go ahead and move into tasks. So what is a task? Task is an invitation into the approval process. So as a role-based system, any role in the system can have a task, including users, as you all are. You will receive an email stating that you do have a task to complete. So let me pull up that sample real quick. Oops. Wrong one, excuse me. There we go. So a task email can either be sent daily or weekly, depending on your organization's preferences. Right here, if you do have any competencies on this task email, you will see those here under the Your Oldest Competencies and Due Date section. If you do have any tasks, they will be shown here. You will get a number of overdue tasks, total of 5, and a total number of actionable tasks. So your overdue task could be 0, and your actionable task could be 10. Overdue obviously means that they are overdue, and actionable tasks could be current and or overdue. Once you receive the email, you see that you have tasks to complete. You can simply click on this link, and it's going to bring you to your task list right here. So in Mary's task list, as you can see, she has a total of 27 tasks to complete. So right now she needs to go through 27 different approval processes and documents. Those emails can be daily or weekly. And you can always come directly into your account and click task here. You don't have to go through that email every time. All right, so in the task list, let's talk about the task filters. But quick little definition of a task. A definition of the task here is it is a request for a user to revise, review a document when it comes due in the approval process. Up here, the first option, this is going to be defaulted. Checkbox is display only actionable tasks. As you can see, we have 27 actionable tasks for Mary. These are ones that are current and need to be completed. If I uncheck that box and select display only tasks that are overdue, we can do current, unavailable, so forth. Let's go ahead and look at tasks that are current. As you can see, overdue tasks are in red, and current tasks are black. And let's look at unavailable tasks real quick. Unavailable tasks are tasks that have not become active yet. So you are part of these tasks. They're just not ready for you to approve and edit. Let's go ahead and go back. If you want to view all current, overdue, unavailable, you can uncheck every box, click apply. And it's going to go ahead and give you your red overdue, your grayed out unavailable, and the black current. When we go to look at Mary's actionable tasks, click apply. Okay, so down here under tasks, you can filter results. So if you're looking for emergency documents, you can find those there. Again, you can sort by clicking in the title all the way across the header here. With that, we have the document name, we have the task. So what task is Mary part of? As you can see here, she's the final approval on this document. The next few documents, she is the initial reviewer. Current task steps. So the final approver is step 4 of 4. The initial review is 1 of 4. A user can be in multiple different steps on different documents at a time. Next to that is the task start date. So when did this start and when was it due? Depending on the individual that set this up, your start date and due date could be 7 days, 14 days apart, whatever it may be. The status of this task, as you can see, overdue. If we go to the very last page, we can see that one is current. Overdue means that you are out of compliance and will need to complete this. All right, and the checked out option is just going to show you if the document is checked out. So if the document is checked out, you cannot currently work on it. You can always go back and say, hey, Aaron, can you cancel that checkout so I can go in and make my edits? Okay. If for any reason you need to create a report of your task list, down here in the bottom left, we have the option to copy, and you can paste this to a Word document and so forth. If you need to download this first page to a CSV file or an Excel file, you can do that. If you want to put this into a PDF, you have that option as well. You can print directly from here. And the last option is export all. So as you can see, Mary has 2 pages of tasks. If she clicks export all, it's going to put both pages directly into an Excel document. All right. So now let's say Mary's ready to, excuse me. Okay, so let's say Mary's ready to do the first document here. What she's going to do, she's going to click view. It's going to bring her directly to that approval process. Up here at the top, we have the document name. The path is just going to show what folder it is in, what folder what manual that folder is in, and so forth. what the task number is, so 1 of 4, and the name of that task. Down here on this header bar, we have the ability to view just the document. If we want to see the tasks or the steps of that document, we can click tasks. As you can see, Mary Hendrick is in step 1, initial review task. We can view who's in step 2, step 3, and who the final approver is. Down here is the notes section. Notes will be are visible to everyone throughout the approval process. This is going to list exactly what has been done to the document. So revision was added, end date, start date have been updated, document checked out, checked in, and so forth. Down here is going to be the history of the document. So you can display the notes, as you can see above, display the revisions, display logs if there are any. You can also print that history if needed. If for any reason you need to add a note, you can do that here. So type in your note, click Save Note, and it'll show up in that list. So let's talk about how do we complete a task. Well, over here on the right side, we have an help option. So if you click on that, that'll just give you step-by-step instructions on how to complete a task. Over here, we have an email option. If you need to send this to anybody for any reason, you can email this to them. And here to the right, we have 3 different options. The first option is to download this. So if you like to work on the document outside of the system and save it to your desktop, you can do that by clicking download. It'll download it to the original file, again, whether it's Word, PowerPoint, Excel. Click on that, make your edits to the document, save it on your computer. Once you have done that, you can come back to this and click checkout. So this is going to lock the document. So now you're the only one working on the document. If you did make the edits outside of the system, you have the option to check in that new file. So if you click check in, it's going to ask you to choose that file from your desktop, and you can click check in. The other option you have is to edit with the Policy Manager editor. If I use that option, this is going to allow you to edit the document within the system as you would just like Word. It is not Word, so some of the options are a little bit different, but it's very similar. In here, you do not have to save it to your computer, so we can come in, we can change anything, the format, the font, the text, whatever, if you need to add bullet points, and so forth. What we recommend, if you are going to make changes, go ahead and click this button down here to turn your track changes on. And that's going to go ahead and just track any changes that have been made. So as you can see, well, Mary Hendrick did this on this date, deleted this section, and so forth. If you add in names and stuff, it'll put that in there and all the way through. So let's say I want to bold this information. It's going to bold that and put a line around it just showing what was bolded. Once you've made your changes, your edits, you can simply click check in changes. Say, yes, I'm ready to check them in. The system will go through its process. Let this load. And as you can see, I made my changes. I checked them back in. They are tracked, so it will keep it in a PDF format. So now when Mary approves and sends it on to the next step, they can see those edits that were made by her. If everything looks good, she reviewed, made her edits, she can simply click approve here. This is going to ask her to put in an approval note. We always recommend being as detailed as possible. Let people know that changes were made on whatever it was. So here I'll just say made edits and everything. Jeez. Looks good. Once you put in your note, you can simply click approve. what's going to happen now is you're going to be brought back to your task list. And as you can see, that document has been removed and moved on to step 2. At this point, Mary can continue to go through her tasks until they are all completed. Okay, so that is it for today's User 101 training. A couple things I want to show you before we end the training. First one is, how do you contact us? To contact us, you can simply click this drop down here, select the contact us option. There's 3 ways you can get a hold of us. The first way is you can send us an email to techsupport@mcnhealthcare.com. You can call us toll free at the 1-800 number here, or you can chat with us. If you chat with us, either myself or one of my colleagues will chat with you fairly soon as you send the chat. The next thing I want to show you is our help docs page. So if you, for any reason, want to come back and you like to view step-by-step instructions, you can do that here. So for example, let's look at approval process. How do I complete a task? So you can come in here and, excuse me, let's look at tasks. You can come in here and find the section that says task, completing a task. This is going to give you step-by-step instructions with screenshots on how to complete a task. Perfect. So that is our help docs page. Again, thank you everyone for joining today's open training. I will stay on in case you guys have any questions, and thank you again. Have a great day.